IRS has basically 4 different departments that are handling the collections, but the power is in your hands, how you could completely shut them down because the tax law is also on your side. Don't worry if you don't know the tax law. I do, so I'm gonna show you. First, let's deal with the ACS department. It's the largest, most powerful department that the IRS employs. With 10 different locations throughout the United States, this is the one department that handles the majority and the bulk of collections with the IRS. More than likely, if you have taxed it under $1 million, it is assigned to ACS. Unless if you're in business with payroll taxes, they handle cases up to $25,000. Next on up is a division of the ACS called Special Compliance with the IRS. Typically, Special Compliance kind of kicks in where there are several situations. Normally, it's when you have years of unfiled taxes, self-employed, or the regular ACS had maybe a difficult time to try to get a hold of you. Special Compliance kicks in. They're a bit harder to get a hold of because it's a smaller department and they're not as funded as well as ACS department. And if your case is assigned with Special Compliance, that means you have to deal with them and you cannot deal with the regular ACS department of the IRS. Next on up are the private collections agencies that the IRS assigns your case. Typically, it is when the IRS cannot get a hold of you, they employ these private collectors to do and try to make contact with you. But these private collections agencies are definitely powerless. They don't have the power to levy, lien, or garnish. And in my opinion, it's a violation of your rights to get these folks involved. Because without power of attorney, they do not communicate with third parties, which is ridiculous. They cannot establish payment plans directly with the IRS, nor also take payments. Remember, when you make payments to the IRS, it's not made payable to IRS. You make them payable to the Department of Treasury. So that's what these private collections agencies let you know, how you can possibly make payment if you're able to do so. Also for payment plans, they kind of act like as a third party, try to coordinate some kind of payment plan. But in my experience, it's a nightmare to try to deal with these folks. But it might be a little bit of good news if it lands into the hands of these folks. But you get yourself real protection. What you have to do is get it out of their hands, get their jurisdiction back to the IRS, and make your proposed tax relief directly with the IRS. Last is field collections, where the most powerful employee that the IRS employs, known as a revenue officer, takes charge of your case. They typically handle cases of $1 million or more. However, if a case lands in their file, even if it's less than $1 million, or even if you're not in business, they handle the case as if you did owe them $1 million. And if you're in business for payroll, they assess a civil penalty to the owners of a business for the trust fund recovery penalty. That's basically payroll issue. The cases with field collections is the toughest cases I have ever encountered. But how you could strike back against any level of collection with the IRS is we employ the totality of the circumstances. One is make sure you're all caught up in tax filing, that way you're in compliance, you fix your root cause, and then you make a proposed tax relief solution, whether it's finance-based, such as the offer and compromise program, the non-collectible, or the hardship payment plan. At the same time, if you encounter any type of levy, lien, you could strike back and file an appeal. The appeals program stops collection right in the tracks, and you deal with the appeals office of the IRS, where you could put forth the solution that you request. And if you're dealing with some IRS tax problems, I could definitely review your case. It's a free one-on-one where I get to know your situation and see what's the best possible way to fix it. Come to IRS Tax Settlement, my team will reach out and coordinate that free case review.